Hello everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Mo and I'm a lawyer licensed to practice law in the province of Ontario, and I have some amazing news to share. I wrote an ebook called NTA Starter Pack, and this book is a must read for anyone who is thinking of starting the process of becoming licensed to practice law in Canada, or anyone who has actually started the process of becoming licensed to practice law in Canada. I know that there's a lot of information on the internet about the NTA process, but this ebook is different and I'm going to tell you how. A lot of information on the internet talk about the NCA exam, but what they fail to talk about is the transitioning from your home country to starting the NCA process. For example, let's say there's a young lady from India who is in her third year who dreams of practicing law in Canada. All she knows is that she has to take the NCA exams, probably get access with about 5 or 7 courses. She has the article and write the bar exams, or not write the bar exams, depending on the province she chooses to practice in. Now, this young lady probably has the big picture, but she doesn't know how to make this happen or how to get there. And there are several other people like this. Should you start the NCA process from your home country or immigrate to Canada as a permanent resident before starting the process? Should you pursue an LLM before starting the NCA process? Should you do the Canadian Common Law LLM? Should you combine an LLM program and the NCA exams? Or should you travel to Canada as a visitor on a temporary resident visa to write the NCA exams? These are some of the things people are confused about, and I have taken time to address everything in this ebook. Another important thing I addressed in this ebook is what the resume you submit for your NCA assessment should look like. Remember that the NCA reviews both your academic and your professional experience, and I have seen several people only focus on the academic part and ignore the professional experience part over and over again. And the only way you can show your professional experience is through your resume. Remember that your resume plays a huge role in the amount of courses you get assessed with. While this might be a short book, it is packed with information for whether you're about to start the process or whether you have started the process. So if you're interested in this ebook, kindly click on the link below so that you can join the waiting list and you will be one of the first people to know when the book comes out. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Ask Mo. Please note that whatever I say on this channel is not legal advice. We have hit 500 subscribers. Every time you guys subscribe, it means I'm doing something right. So thank you to all of you who keep subscribing. Thank you to all of you who keep sharing, liking, and commenting. It makes me happy. It brings me joy. So to all of you who keep watching but haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please hit the subscribe button. To all my subscribers who are not lawyers, you guys have reached out to me to create content for non-lawyers. So this video is for you guys. Myth number 1. People believe that once you travel abroad, you don't hammer. Now, for my non-Nigerian followers, what this means is once you travel abroad, right, your life becomes gold, your life becomes magnificent, wonderful, which is all a lie, right? Especially if you're a working professional immigrating from a country to another country. The truth is you would have to start over. You have to do everything again. You have to probably requalify. You have to make so many sacrifices. You probably have to do, some menial jobs or jobs that you're not used to by the side just to make some money while you're still trying to requalify. I've heard someone say that once I get up, if I can just travel to the US, to the United States, or to Canada, my life will change. People somehow believe that there's a tree of money somewhere, that people pluck once they come abroad. People don't understand the sacrifices you have to make once you leave abroad. People just say, oh, living abroad is very fancy, very nice. Once you come abroad, all your problems will change. That is not true. I had to do some jobs that I didn't necessarily like. So for example, I worked as a legal assistant at this law firm, right? And even though my job description was legal assistant, I will tell you that for the first 3 months, all I did was scan papers, shred papers, and turn physical copies or physical flat files into electronic files. That was all I did for the first 3 months. I had deep paper cut. Sometimes I had to clean the tables, get the offices prepared for meetings. I had to even sweep the office sometimes, right? I had to sweep the office. I had to clean the office. I didn't think I was going to do that when I came, right? I didn't think I was going to do that. I know people who work in factories, sometimes you might have to work in Tim Hortons, or just do a job that you're not used to just to make some money. When I was a student at the University of Toronto as well, I also worked at the call center, and I was always calling alumni, asking them to donate to the cause of a library that we're building or a new building that U of T was doing. Trust me, I didn't enjoy calling people on the phone every single night, but I had to do it because I needed to make some cash. So my point is, living abroad is not a bed of roses. When you come, you have to pay your dues, you have to make all them sacrifices, you have to make compromises in order to get to where you want to get to. While living abroad is better in the sense that there's constant electricity, there's constant water supply, you can have a great phone on a monthly plan, drive a beautiful car on a monthly plan, buy a house, you get a mortgage, high school is free if you go to a public school, healthcare is free. What else? You can get a loan to pay for your university tuition. There's so many beautiful advantages, to living abroad. But nobody talks about the fact that you live your whole life in debt, and you will basically live from paycheck to paycheck if you're not intentional about your finances and if you don't properly plan your finances. For me, I see it as a basket. No matter how much you try to fill a basket, it can never be full. So I always say it's a basket, right? You're making more money, but the more money you make, the less money you see. You are making money, but you're making money to pay bills. Nobody talks about the loneliness that comes from immigrating from your home country and settling down in an entirely new country. Guys, depression is real. And the truth is, most people in this country are depressed, especially international students. You are leaving your family, you're leaving your friends, and you're moving into an entirely new system to settle down. You're not even careful or intentional about keeping your friends. You might lose contact with all of them because of the time difference. Probably when you're in class or when you're at work, your friends and your family members are sleeping, and when they are awake, you're sleeping, right? You have to be very intentional about keeping the relationships you have from your home country. Nobody talks about that. The loneliness, the depression, it is big, it is huge. And if you're not intentional about your mental health and your mental well-being, I tell you, you will be depressed. My point is, living abroad isn't always better than living at home, even though there are all these good things that come with living abroad. The third myth we will be debunking today is, once you move abroad and you've lived here for a couple of years, your accent changes. No, your accent does not change because you are now living abroad. I speak to people and they tell me, I still have a Nigerian accent after living abroad for the past 4 years or for almost 4 years. And I'm like, well, I'm Nigerian. I grew up in Nigeria. I lived in Nigeria for 21 years. And because I now live in Canada doesn't mean my Nigerian accent should automatically fly out the door. So let's say you moved abroad when you were a child or a teenager. It is understandable that your accent changed. But if you're a mature student, if you're in your late 20s or you're very mature and you move, bruh, how is your accent changing, please? In one of my first videos, I spoke about how when I first started attending classes at U of T, my professor could not really understand what I was saying because I had a very thick Nigerian accent. I will put the link to that video in the description box so you guys can go watch it. But please, because you move abroad or because you now live abroad, doesn't mean your accent will change. I understand that because you work with Canadians, for example, because I work with Canadians, I see them every day and I deal with them every day. Sometimes I can switch my accent. You can always switch, different accents, talk like a British person or a Canadian or an American, but the real accent in you, my real Nigerian accent, is not going anywhere. So when next you hear someone who has been living abroad for like 10 years and they still have their accent, please do not harass them. The fourth myth we are going to be debunking is that it is easier to get a job abroad. Well, that is not true. In fact, I think it is more difficult to get a job abroad. I feel like you basically have to prove your education is equivalent to the education of that country, that your work experience is equivalent to the work experience of people in that country. You have to prove everything. You basically have to prove your life existence. I'm just joking, but you get what I mean. You have to work twice as hard as you would have worked in your home country, sometimes twice as hard. A good job will not just fall on your lap. You have to put in the work. And the final myth we are going to be debunking is that you will not have immigration issues once you move into the country legally. That is not true. In fact, most international students who came in legally have immigration issues. They end up having immigration issues. And the reason is simple. Most international students most times are not careful enough to pay attention to the time limit to apply for your work permit. Sometimes you get a work permit that's for 1 year and you don't get a job, 6 months goes by and you don't have enough work experience to apply for your PR, and then you run into trouble, right? So it is possible for you to come into the country legally and still have immigration issues. I am going to throw in a sixth myth because why not? So the sixth myth is that it is easier to find love abroad. Well, that's all I'm going to say about that one. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found it very entertaining, and I hope you guys also learned something from the video. So if you're yet to subscribe, kindly click on the subscribe button below, like, share, comment, and do all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next episode of Ask Mo. Bye.